Greetings, listeners. I am your host and game master this evening, Zach Barrett. You're about to listen to this Twisted Gear Studios production of The Legend of Zingdong, in collaboration with MacGuffin Media and the team behind Nerdvana the web series. All episodes of Nerdvana the web series are now live on TLOZD Optic TV as well as TLOZD's YouTube channel. Last we left our heroes, they came face to face with one of the 6 elementals that forged the world of Midrule. As favor for their deeds and continued work to save the realm from darkness, the Elementress revived their fallen comrade, and they disembarked, headed south to the air city of Artaka.
Is there any reasons why you would want to stop anywhere along the way?
We've already rested, right? Like we're already back at full health.
You get
right?
all of your things are at full.
Okay.
Just due to the fact that you're in your caravan and you guys are traveling down south.
Is there any points of interest on our way?
First things first, on your way headed down south is the first bit of civilization that you're going to naturally pass, besides, camping and stopping every now and then. Which, if we stop for every camping session, this campaign would last years. So I'm going to kind of speed roll some
Fast
of
travel?
those.
Oh, so it's not Final Fantasy 15? Is that what you're saying?
Do you want to have? We could have like
Making our way
17
down
hour
south,
hikes.
walking fast. No one's
But,
right behind us.
Yeah.
What I should do is I should just roll percentile to see if anything bad happens to you all.
And
So,
I died
okay.
once.
It takes you several days to get back to the town in which you guys had all met and began initially. And okay, fortunately, those 2 rolls actually did turn up nothing, so nothing attacks you on your way.
Oh, it's my village?
Woody woot!
But you left your village.
We just
We're done
left
with
the
your
village. We're going to the airships.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the bard got drunk again. He forgot.
Oh. Well,
It's okay.
He seems to be from every village. Like the village we met him was his people.
I'm a citizen
And then-
of the world.
Oh, God.
I don't remember my friends being this snappy before I died.
A lot
you went through a lot of shit, man.
A lot of
Yeah.
shit.
I don't know. I think you just came back with an
Sunny disposition?
idyllic point of view.
Yeah,
Really?
So, after a few days of travel, interestingly enough, you actually come across the town of Babaribo Village. The village where you had all met in the first place, to where an airship had crashed and
The
decimated.
point I was trying to
Oh,
make.
yeah.
Yes. There's still the remnants of the destruction. I mean, this is a medieval society, so it doesn't take overnight to repair all that damage. However, society as it stands, is where you had kind of left it a fiery mess, is still relatively back to normal. There's still remnants of the framework of the crashed airship that's there, and some of the buildings are beginning to repair themselves and rebuild. But you've reached Babaribo Village. Is there anything you guys wish to do in this rather large settlement before moving on south some more?
Can I ask what the time of day is?
You'll be arriving a little bit like early afternoon, like 1, 2.
Early afternoon.
I want to investigate these self-repairing buildings.
Is this is the location where the airships are?
No.
Oh, it's not.
When you all met, an airship crashed in your
Oh,
tavern.
yeah,
So
sorry.
there's a crashed airship, but that's about it. So this is not your final destination.
I
You were
don't think
asking-
we should use that one. I'm gonna go out on a limb.
A band of hoglins come and trample you
Should
all.
we just go right through this place? Should we just go on to the airships? I mean, that's where we're heading.
I have
right?
no business here.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, this is a place where my old life used to be before I died, so I'd rather move on with my new life.
All right. Yeah, I think we should just trek on through.
Good luck with the rebuild, everyone.
The other side.
We just wave at them on our way out. Peace among worlds.
Oh god.
I'm getting a lot of dirty glares from these people around here.
Moving further south down the lands of Midrule. Another couple of days of travel. So you guys are heading pretty much to like the southern part of the realm.
You hit a tree with your elbow.
Yeah. Ow. That doesn't sound good.
It took no damage.
That branch caught Matt unawares.
I would
It
like
was normal.
everybody to roll a quick survival check, please.
Survival, eh?
No.
This is probably a good thing, guys.
I'm feeling good.
Oh,
Do I
here we
have a
go.
survival? Oh, I don't have a survival bonus. Drats.
I probably should have done this earlier.
Yeah. Your dice are very important. Very important.
Alright.
Alright. I got 17.
I got 15.
13.
Also 13.
12.
12. So for no one
Yeah.
with your lovely 17.
Mm-hmm.
No one and Titus actually. As you guys are traveling, a lot of the towns, there's not lots of caravans that travel between towns. It's kind of you find your town, you live in your town, you stay away from all the monsters, and you live peacefully ever after.
Yes.
Unless an airship crashes on you.
Yeah, there are patented paths that connect all the towns together, like the one that you guys are traveling upon. But you two, having in no one's case, you're quite the traveled individual. You do notice that there are some branching paths that seem, whilst relatively trekked and walked upon, they're not actual made paths. And when you take into account that path and some of the sounds you're hearing, there is a stream that's nearby. And this path seems relatively well trodden and civilized. But it is off to the side and it's not marked.
A little bit longer.
You have no idea.
Oh, okay.
But it seems like it would go towards the river that you can hear.
The off the beaten path
It's
one.
Can I
it's
check my
deviation.
map as to whether or not these paths exist on my map?
Sure. Pull out your map. Roll me one more survival check with your map, please.
I got 2.
2. I will. You know what? I'm feeling generous. You have a map. I will say you get advantage. You can roll it again.
Okay.
And take that. If it's higher, you can take the higher one.
Oh, 16.
16. Okay.
There you go.
That's better than it was going to be. Very, very. All right. So if you're looking at your map, you notice that there are rivers that are kind of out there. There's no path on your map that says what this particular path is, but it does seem to. The road that you're on does lead to a nearby river, and following the river along, if you're lucky and you were able to find transportation on the river, this river might actually speed up your transport from here to Artaka.
Hey folks, my map here says that if we can make our way through a path that leads to the river, if we can find a way to get through that river, it might be a shortcut to the south, and we wouldn't be wasting days with this stimulating conversation on the road we're having.
See if we can flag down a boat.
And no one can confirm this information.
Seems like we didn't really have to talk.
But look, I mean,
Now we
they
heard your
wanted-
voice.
Yeah, they just wanted
Give the people what they want.
confirmation.
More no one.
Yes, more no one.
For somebody named No One, you really want people to remember that
I'm a real
name.
somebody.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Real someone.
But I'm in. I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm like, I dig the water.
Mikhail, you've been quiet.
I said, let's flag down a boat.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
what you said?
He
Okay.
did
Yeah.
say that.
No, he wasn't quiet. He was just ignoring you.
Oh.
I would never do that to one of you guys.
Oh,
I
yeah.
always listen to what you have to say.
Did you try to loot my dead body?
Oh.
Okay.
All right, so as you guys go down the path, you do have to kind of narrow down your. I don't know if you guys weren't already going single file, but you do have to go single file as this path does cut through some of the thicker brush of the forest. And the river gets louder as you get to the edge of
careful
the
of
river.
your
Sure
elbows.
enough, it opens up, and there is a nice, smooth, rocky area along the edge of this rather wide and winding river. But at the part that you guys are at, it's relatively calm. It gets rough more north of where you've already passed. And there does seem to be a wooden hut that's been constructed there with a nice couple of lanterns up front with some smoke billowing up, and a wharf that extends out from it, and a couple of boats that are there.
Oh, we might be able to rent a boat.
There might be some loot in there.
This must be the marina. Does anybody know how to sail?
Oh,
Well,
that's a good question.
I don't know if we have to sail if it's on a river.
I'm from the
You
mountains.
just point it into the water and it kind of.
You just-
you steer in a river. You Self-driving sail boat. on the ocean.
I'm sure if we click ahead.
Oh, well, clearly, Stefan knows about rivers and oceans.
I can use the word jib and think I know what I'm
An
talking about.
experienced seaman.
Yeah. Well, I say we stop here regardless.
Okay.
Who knows what kind
Well,
of...
let's say hi to the locals, because obviously it would probably be bad mojo to steal a boat. So let's see if we can rent one.
I attempt to steal a boat.
To the
Ash.
Everybody watch No One.
What's her name? Ashland, sir?
Ashlyn?
Ashland. I'm sorry.
Ashland's eye.
I was dead.
He's
for
a little
like
disoriented from the whole dying thing.
Yeah, it's Ashlyn.
Shall we?
I mean, you guys have been doing whatever the hell you want all this way anyway, so like.
Guys, did something happen while I died?
Let's go on this boat. Let's go on this boat.
Do you not want to?
My horse hates boats.
Oh, was that a thing?
Well, we're not
Yeah.
taking a horse with us.
I feel
on a
like
boat.
you should have mentioned
What?
that.
There's no way we can bring a horse on a boat.
What
about-
it's not like
horse-driven
it's not like a
What about-
ferry.
what
It's
about-
not like
No.
a ferry where you
You
like
think
drive your horse
We-
on.
This is a yacht? Is that what you
Can't horses swim? I thought they could swim.
Yeah, they can.
Like
Aren't they
tie a
the-
leash at the back of the boat.
Are
My
they the dolphins of the
father-
land?
Like Minecraft?
My father,
Horses can swim
Gormley,
quite well.
he had a horse once that like he was at the racetrack because that's where he grew up, and the horse was just like, I don't really want to be here anymore. And he ran out the gates and he ran down the beach and then he just swam out as far as the eye could see, and then he was just a little blip all the way out in the ocean. And then I guess he just got bored because he turned around and swam back.
So then why are you concerned?
Because my horse hates water. That was Dad's horse. Were you not listening?
I thought you were telling us a parable for like all horses.
No.
They always come
No,
back.
my
Yeah,
horse.
Why would you tell that story if it had no immediate concern with what we're talking about right
I
now?
don't know.
I'm
I was
more
sharing.
confused than anything.
Well,
Did
you-
I die or did she
No,
die?
you guys were talking about how I've been all quiet and secretive and not very shareative, and I love animals.
Sounded
so
like
I
a
was
story
telling you
about
my
And that's her
animal
thing.
story.
She loves
That is her
animals,
thing.
and apparently her animals do not love water.
Yeah, this one.
Um,
No, this one. My bird likes water. He swims.
All right.
Let's talk to somebody inside and
Yeah.
see if we can take the horses on the boat in the first place.
Maybe we
Yeah,
can
what
find
if
some
it's like-
medicine for
if it's like a
Ashley.
ferry.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe it's like a ferry boat that you drive your horse onto,
Like a barge,
like a
like a
Yeah, maybe
like a
barge.
wide
I feel like every
riverboat.
village we go in, people stare at us because we're just a big group of arguing people. Is that a thing? I think that's a thing.
Oh, we aren't doing this in hushed
And
voices.
as you guys are kind of doing this as you're moving, and you're continuing to converse and discuss, and the conversation doesn't stop as you push open push open the door, and at the front, I don't think anyone would have been paying attention to this front of the door as you came up to it. You just kind of walked on in as you're talking.
Yeah.
Okay, hello. Hello, is anybody here? I'd like to announce myself.
I knocked on the door. What is this?
So at the front of the building, there is
Oh,
a
no.
nice homemade wooden sign that hangs down that says Chubb's Marina.
Oh,
Oh,
Alright.
I called it. It's in a marina.
Chubb's Marina.
It's got
Chubbs was what my father Gormley used to call me when I was a kid.
Do you own this marina?
No.
Okay, well, can we find Chubbs? Does anybody here knows Chubbs?
So you swing open the door. Does anyone here know Chubbs? And as you swing it on open, the inside of the building is strangely designed. There's planks on the side that you're currently on. There is an open part where there is a boat ready to depart. It seems like kind of the hut is arced in such a way that boats can kind of go through the inside of
that's
it.
sexy.
And there's a boat in there ready and waiting to go.
like
And
a
there's a rather short, portly man that seems to be relatively unkempt that looks up with the one monocle that's on. Hello.
Are you Chubbs?
nobody assume it.
Do I look like a Chubbs?
No, don't answer that.
No, you look like a Mortimer.
Oh, you're very lovely.
Yeah.
my name is Chubbs, though. Welcome to my lovely marina. Are you looking for a passage?
Yes.
We need-
We're heading south.
We want to get an airship, so our first step is to get a water ship.
Oh. Well, you've come to the right place. Let me show you what my lovely marina can do for you. And he
Perfect.
Kind of, in the desk that he's got, there's like a counter that runs all along the side of that open bit of plank where the boat is behind him. There's a break in the counter a little bit further down where there is like a hatch you can open up so you can kind of cross to get to the side where the boat is, but otherwise you would have to vault the counter to get to the boat itself. But inlaid in the table, there's like a glass countertop where he does have a nicely laid out map. It seems to be like the one very kept thing besides the boats in this room. And there's a little bit more detail to this map than in yours, Titus.
Yeah.
Mostly to the areas around this particular river ring. And if you want, you can spend time to stay and kind of copy some information over, but it
I
would
do.
take some time.
Actually, I lean over at Chubbs. I'm like, how much for the map?
Oh, I'm sorry. The map is not for sale. This is a part of my livelihood. In fact, I was going to use it to inform you how Chubb's Marina works.
Well, what if? Okay, how about you inform us? But also, what if I give you a partial map? This map of mine. I unroll it. It's got like 85 to 90% of your information, and I'm sure you know the rest by memory. But I would like to buy your map and give you this map in return, and then you can just fill in the blanks. He's not buying it, guys.
I can't tell if you should roll a bluff or a negotiation, because there was a lie in there.
There's so many things. in there.
Well, I do have +5 persuasion.
Roll a bluff check.
Is that on a d20? Alright. I got a 14. Plus the... oh, wait. Does persuasion go towards that?
No.
Okay.
That's a persuasion check. This one's for bluff. You ask the question, you stare him in the eye with a nice sweet smile, and he just kind of pops out something from his pocket, and smacks it into his hand, takes a toothpick, puts it in his mouth. No.
Yeah, you're being rude. Copy it. Would you mind if he copied the information on the map? Like, he won't touch your map.
No, that I don't mind at all.
Yeah, you copy it.
That's
You
fine.
copy it.
Quite kind.
I
Quite
just,
kind.
I need this particular map for my
See, that's
business.
So
Well, we don't want to disenfranchise local
no,
businesses.
you're right. I will copy it. Thank you very much for your generous
Very
nature.
welcome.
Also, do you have any ferries or boats that carry animals?
Yes, actually. It won't be a very comfortable ride. The boats themselves, there is a bit of a winding part in the river, a little bit more south. So the boats can only be so big. There's no separate compartments, so you'll be bedding with your horses.
Oh, she
but
really
I
loves her
can.
horses.
Were you gonna leave your horse behind?
A horse with no name can take care of himself. While everyone else is talking to this guy, can I look around the room for any fishing equipment?
You don't even have to look that hard. There's tons of fishing equipment in here.
Okay, can I move myself towards where that is?
Like, do you plan on stealing some of it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
you
I
don't
just
know.
wanna- maybe I just
You
wanna
can
look at it,
you can
so-
definitely move yourself over there.
Okay, I want to move myself over there.
As you move on over there,
Am I copying the map right now? So yeah, I want to move myself over to where the fishing equipment is. I just want to.
I want to watch the bleep out of no one.
all right. So yeah, Titus, you're there. You're filling in the what's left there. One of the things of unique note of his particular map is that the river that you would kind of assume was here, and sure enough it was, actually is a ring. This river is self-circulating within Midrule itself. But it seems to cut through, it goes up towards the mountains at some point, and now it's coming down, and this seems to be the base of the rough part of the river. And Chubb kind of explains that the boats kind of go on this circle, and he kind of collects the boats as they come around, and he's got little stations throughout the certain distances all around here.
Neat.
And he basically uses this to get there. Artaka is the last stop on the safe route, and it's at that point that the boats are then shipped through the rough patch of this circular river and come back to this station here.
Okay,
at some point.
Artaka is where we want to be.
It is where you want to be. Yeah.
Okay,
It does
that's
get there.
Looks like it's smooth rivering until Artaka, guys.
We sure are talking our time getting on this boat.
I'd like to pick up the fishing equipment I'm looking at.
Okay. I want you to roll a sleight of hand check, please.
Alright. My expertise is also in sleight of hand. 14.
Fantastic. You grab, what, like a fishing rod?
Yeah.
Alright, so as you go and reach and grab a fishing rod, you hear and you see a slash, and you are dealt 6 points of slashing damage across your knuckles
What?
as a cat claws at you from one of the banisters above the rack in which you're grabbing one of these fishing rods.
Hey, Chubbs, I love your cat. What's his name? Or her?
Can I not use a cunning action?
No, you cannot, because you did not notice it. It's fine.
Damn it.
Chubbs looks over. Oh, that's Celesta. She helps me with, some of them vagrants.
Hey,
Glaring
no
at
one,
no
don't
one
you
as he
think
says it.
Celesta's the besta? Huh? Huh?
Damn it!
Comeuppance.
Now, you'd like to purchase some fishing equipment for your travel down the river, I can gladly accommodate for a modest fee.
Shop local, no one. Shop local.
Yeah, I was just looking at this fishing rod here. Just wondering how much this would be for a fishing rod here.
For you?
For us, really. I mean, I would catch fish for.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear anyone else asking for fishing equipment. For you, sir, the one rod without the string is 8 gold.
Without the string, that is a steep price, sir.
That is a really good deal.
That is a steep price.
I feel like you're being really kind to us, Chubbs. I really like you.
Would you like some fishing equipment?
You know, I've always wanted to take up fishing.
Wouldn't you be really
He hands you a slip of he kind of puts down a slip of paper, and what do I have I don't have my little post-its with me. Here's some post-its there, please. Thank you very
It's
much.
like, show me your tits.
I'll do it.
I say that joke in my head and I'm giggling to myself while I'm trying the map.
I'm still confused on Ashley's story. Was she telling us about a horse or a boomerang?
I have no clue.
Yeah.
So he slips that and goes,
I'll
Yeah,
take
of course.
it. I'll take it. Thank you kindly.
I
So
did
mark
been
that
in
off.
a conversation with Ashley. She's always angry at something.
so he you see that he slips a piece of paper to Ashlyn. She responds in a way, and then he kind of snaps his fingers a bit, and a second cat comes out from behind the counter where he's at. It walks along the banister, and now you notice that all the railings that are kind of above everything aren't just for show. That's how his cats get around. And this second cat goes over towards one of the completed fishing rods, grabs it with its mouth, and then carries it over towards the till where he is. He takes it and hands it to Ash.
When we're done all of our adventures, I'm coming back here.
Yeah.
I'm coming back to see Chubbs.
It kind of reminds me of one of my dwarf friends when I was younger. He, in his cave dwelling, he had these like special shelves that he had built with his wife that his cats just hung out on.
Chubbs, I want to talk to you about this fishing rod.
I'm open to a discussion.
I feel like we got off on the wrong foot here. I mean, I wasn't planning anything, inconsiderate of your business here. I was just checking it out. I wanted to pick it up and hold it in my hands. You know how fishermen are with the feel of the tool. You want to make sure that it's not too heavy, it's not too light.
And as you're talking, he kind of just haphazardly places a large warhammer on the table, and he's stretching. Yeah. Oh, I don't live near a town. I totally understand.
Yeah.
How it can be middle of nowhere. People come by.
I
Live on a river. Goes on for miles. Infinitely, actually.
Hey, no one. What are some fishing terms?
Bait, release, and fish.
Actually, do you have any bait?
That I do.
Okay, I should probably purchase some bait too. I mean, I got the fishing set.
And actually, while he's been
The whole
talking to no one, the cat that went and fetched the fishing rod went and grabbed a little wooden box with a handle.
Oh.
It's about it's relatively small, like a pencil case almost. And she brought it down. And he's like, "Yes, there's the rest of your set there inside. You'll find different
It comes with bait.
little bit of bait,
So great, thank you.
enough for 8 failed or successful fishing attempts.
Perfect.
So you can go fishing 8 times with the current bait set that you have. He's
Thank you
just,
so
and as he's
much.
doing this transaction, he's just staring at you the entire time. No one.
I walk out of the building.
I think somebody cast a spell on him. Okay,
Yeah.
that was a failed pun. I tried. I dug deep, but I tried.
Oh, I get it.
Oh,
It
my
was cast.
gosh.
I get
Got
it.
it.
Oh my
It's
god.
fishing and
Nice.
cast.
Oh my god, I quit.
I storm out of the
I
building.
giggle at
No, that's very kind of you.
Steve over there.
How's my map coming along?
Or Steve.
It's
Can I
so
please see it?
to completely convert all of his information over. Actually, you know what? Really quick before you determine that, roll a crafting or profession check, whichever one you got something in. If not, then just roll a d20 and add your
Crafting or perception?
profession.
would you prefer?
Okay, well, I'll roll a d20.
Ain.
What is that?
Okay.
An 8.
And then add your wisdom modifier.
Wisdom. Where's my wisdom? Oh, +1. 9.
9. So you can complete, in the time that you've been here, you can kind of complete the river path itself on yours, so you have an accurate depiction of this particular river cycle. But if you wanted to stay and catch the rest of the detailing on this map, you'd have to stay here for at least a day.
I think this is good enough. I think I got the rest of the river.
Well, we're using the river to get to the airship. Maybe they'll have another map there, maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's possible.
But Chubbs, I wanted to know what your rates are here, because we're trying to decide what kind of vessel.
So it's the 5 of you, I take it, and you mentioned something about horses.
I'd like to bring my horse.
Potentially 2.
Up to 2
Although I can't
horses.
speak for no one.
All right. Well, I guess that means that we're at a maximum of 2 gold a person per way station, and 3 gold per large animal per way station. And there are, not including this one, of course. Well, technically including this one, you paid the initial fee here, and there are 2 more way stations between here and the 4th way station is your final destination. I don't charge for your arrivals, just for each of the stations you pass.
It's not a bad price.
So it would be 6 gold per person for the whole trip, and 9 gold per horse for the whole trip.
Doable, gang.
Yeah, okay.
But
so-
the entire ferry is at your disposal. Now there are a couple of points you'll notice where the river can spill out to the ocean at large through some off rivers. I do have stations that prevent you from going out there. However, if you wish to purchase a seaworthy ferry, we can discuss at those ports there. Otherwise, it's just a nice smooth ride from here. If you wish to sleep at any way stations and rest your aching bones from having swayed back and forth in the river, that's an additional charge that you can discuss at that way station. Otherwise, you can just sleep in your ferry all the way to your final destination.
Seems like smooth sailing, even though we're not sailing.
Smooth river flow.
Okay, well, I'm
River boating.
definitely gonna do this. Are you guys?
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay, I step outside to go tell no one the good news.
Okay.
What are you doing outside, Owen?
There's the boats outside there, right?
No.
No, all the boats are
I thought you
inside.
said there was a marina outside.
You can see that it's mostly on the inside. There you can see that there have
goes
been boats that
into
have
the
left, but it's kind of like imagine those old houses that used to go over top of bridges.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, and you can see that there are
To
boats
keep
that
people
are
from
inside
stealing stuff outside.
the dock
Okay.
in the building.
All right.
Yeah, fine. No, that's
Okay, that's
Are you
great.
bringing your horse? Sorry,
yeah.
I'm inside.
All right. We also got room for your ego. It's
Yeah,
it's
well,
lying
yeah.
over there all broken.
There's an extra charge.
Yeah, you can pay that to Stefan.
I'll need extra space for that.
Yeah, do you prefer Step or Ain as a nickname? Like, I want to give you a cute nickname.
Neither sound that great.
Skip.
What about, like,
This is the conversation they're having as we walk back in.
Tiff?
Me and this guy over here, the bar.
yeah, it's like tough.
Titus,
Yeah, that one.
we slept together.
I remember. It was magical.
I
Was it? Because you don't remember my
It
name.
was for me.
Mm.
Listen, you weren't the only guy I slept with that night.
Oh,
See how it really is.
Hurtful.
I started thinking about lyrics for an angry song.
Taylor Swifting it up.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody knock off 6 gold. Unless you have a horse that you were wishing to take with you, then you must knock off 15 gold in total, please.
Yeah, I'm not paying for that horse.
So,
What? You don't
you
have a horse.
taking the horse with you there, Matt?
Is there how many horses are gonna be on this thing?
2 if you take yours.
2 if I take mine.
Bosley's definitively going. It
Yeah.
will be a tight fit, and not like tight in the sense that you're gonna be sleeping on top of each other, sort of thing. But it's yeah,
I guess so.
boat is not hugely luxurious.
How
Imagine,
did we lose? Sorry.
sorry,
6 gold.
6 gold for each individual person, 9
Okay.
for each horse.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take one.
Yeah. All right, so knock off 15 gold. But actually, knock off 15 gold.
Yeah, I'm just. Where else did I put my other-
But actually,
I can see him not doing it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there's some trust issues here.
I could have. I didn't. There you go.
All right.
So, is he seeing us off, Chubbs?
Yeah, you have to go
Oh,
through. He
Chubs
has
board.
he's got a little board that he has to open up to let you guys onto the marina proper to get into the one of the larger ferries that's there, ready to go.
Okay. As we're leaving, I want to just go up to him and tell him, thanks for letting us use this boat. I won't forget what happened.
I pet Nameless and tell him that I'm just sorry, and just leave it open-ended.
He kind of looks and nods. As am I. And he locks you guys, closes the gate behind you. You guys are on your own ferry, and
Bye,
the
chaps.
boat is disembarked from the marina itself, and it begins to naturally float down the river. At the tail end of the boat, the way that the boat's kind of set up is that there is a canopy on the back half. The front of it is flat and open with railings so that you can, not just fall off the end of the boat. But the back half, there is a canopy. The canopy itself is where it's really tight. About 3 people can sleep in here comfortably. The 5 of you, it's going to be a tight fit. Horses, absolutely, they're sleeping outside in the front of the boat. However, at the far aft side of the boat, where, in a modern boat, you find like a motor for it, there seems to be like a blue haze, and there is a sense of propulsion coming from the back of the boat with that blue haze. There's some form of magic that is allowing the boat to move faster than what the river itself would be naturally able to carry you down with.
Interesting.
And you're progressing forward.
So,
What time of day is it now that we're leaving?
Not too much later, like maybe 2 hours after you would reach Fabrica Village.
Okay.
So 4 o'clock.
So we got 3 beds, and then people with the horses can just sleep with their horses.
Yeah, I just sleep with my horse.
Sleep with no name. Well, we should still probably have.
No, you chose to bring your horse. You sleep with the horse.
We should probably have someone staying up just in case.
Well, you got 2 people watching the horses, so
The seas are can be quite dangerous.
we're
You
not on
can
the sea.
stay
We're
up
on a
if you
river.
want.
Either way, whatever it is, bodies of water. You never trust them, right?
I'm fine with shifts. I vote that we just push on through, and we don't stop at the way stations. We'll just sleep in shifts,
Yeah.
maybe.
We don't need fuel for this boat or anything, do we?
No one said anything about any fuel. Doesn't seem like it. Whatever spells allowing the boat to propel.
is a
propel.
riverboat fantasy.
Okay.
I love these new original tunes
I
that you come
know.
up with.
I got a million of them.
Yeah.
All right.
A million?
So your
Like an actual million?
nearly 2-week journey
Song about me.
has now been reduced to 3 days. So is there
Oh,
anything
Man, I'm
you guys
glad I
want
thought of
to
this
do?
idea.
Enough space to set up a tent on the foredeck.
So the issue with setting up a tent is that usually you've got to dig some stakes into the ground, and there's like a
Tie
flat
the
wood.
rails.
So if you want to tie it, you can tie it to rails. Never mind, you could. It would be a little dilapidated, but yeah, you certainly could.
Oh, set up a tent.
All right. So on your first day, Mikhail takes the bow of the ship and he kind of makes a tent out of it.
Do the horses fit out there now?
They'll have a nice little cozy cuddle session closer to the cabin portion.
Works for me. Who wants to stay up first?
Hi. I can stay up first. No one.
Hopefully
I'll
there's
watch over
no
you.
river deer.
While you sleep.
Fantastic.
We should probably have paired shifts.
I'll go with you. I'll go with you, Stefan.
Oh my god.
All right. Well,
Okay.
I can
Well,
do
somebody's
the
watching,
first,
no one.
I'll do the first shift.
Does anyone have anything they wish to kind of accomplish over the next 3 days of travel?
Can I try and bandage my wounds from a slashing damage from a cat?
The next time you take a long rest, you can heal up your 6 points of damage.
Cat.
I rolled as
slashes.
high as I could.
That's amazing.
I choose to spend my time writing songs and examining the map and everything new that I detailed into it. And I think about what we're gonna do when we get an airship.
I'm gonna try my hand at fishing.
I'd like to help Ash and see if I can learn how to fish.
I feel like if you're that connected to animals, you wouldn't want to fish
Spend a
them.
few days learning how to
Right?
fish.
Isn't that a thing you wouldn't want to do?
Fish are the bastards of the earth.
Wow.
Jeez.
I only like creatures of the land.
Oh my
I
god.
only like land creatures.
Oh, okay.
One time
She's,
when I
she's
was
on water
swimming,
risk.
one time when I was swimming in the river, an eel bit my heel.
Oh my god.
It was.
How did you feel?
It was very upsetting, actually.
I don't think that's real.
And it. No, I have a scar on my foot, like teeth.
I mean, really, what's the deal?
I'm about to keel over.
Scar.
No.
At least we're sparing people on the land from our constant bickering.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which,
I wouldn't
okay.
want to know.
So, for fishing, we'll take care of that first because it's nice. It's nice and quiet.
Fun.
Roll me a survival check there, please, Ash.
Okay. Oh, 11.
11. All right. With that, you put some bait on the fishing line. You fit it into the river. Wait. Wait. Please roll a wisdom check.
8. Yeah, 8.
You kind of shake the rod a bit because due to impatience.
Oh wait, my survival is +4.
Oh, so what
I
would have
didn't-
been the first time?
15.
15.
15?
Sorry, I haven't been doing that this whole time.
I was gonna say, I was like, your survival
Feels
is
like
like
she
your
should have
thing.
survival out of all of us.
All right, so the first time you throw the hook in, you go. It's not too long afterwards until there's a boop. There's a bit of a bite, and you pull her on up.
Real.
Roll a strength check.
Oh, don't love this.
21.
21. Good lord. And you got there's a bit of a pull on it, and as you yank it out, there's a relatively large fish that you have now pulled out. And
Yay,
you have on
large
the deck.
fish!
And just a large blue fish. With this fish, if you cook it properly, you've got about 6 portions of rations. It's just food. It doesn't have
You
any
can feed
special
all of us.
effect. All right. I'm
could.
gonna go around the table real quick and insinuate shifts. So we're not gonna take too long at this. But no one, you did say you wanted to take
I'll take
whatever
first
first shift was. So please roll a perception check.
I will take a nap.
17.
17. All right. So, for the sake of time and not nickel and diming every single minute and hour that we're spending doing this, I'm going to kind of assume that each of the rotations are in like 6-hour increments to try and kind of progress a little bit more. And even during the day, there's someone kind of on deck just in case. With that, you spend a lot of your shift kind of in the late evening and early twilight of the day. It's well into the night by the time your shift is over, and it's a nice calm time. By the time it's time for your shift to end, the woods are kind of thinning out, and you're approaching the part of the river that opens up to a large plain. You're approaching the central portion of the continent of Midrule. And who wants to take over after no one?
I'll go.
Alright,
I want
Titus.
to go into his, while he's still sleeping, into his quarters and wake him up by combing my fingers through his hair. Aggressive.
Alright. So he does, and I'm like, why are you so mean to me during the daytime?
Sorry, I just have to. Thanks, buddy.
Be nicer next time.
They can't know.
Oh my
They can't know.
All right, Titus, perception check. Your 6
Alright.
hours are up.
Oh shit, I just dropped it. 14.
14.
Plus, what is it?
Perception.
I got +1 wisdom. Does that count? No.
If there's no skill there, that's it. Yeah.
So 15.
Well, that's that.
Or
Cool.
whatever.
You can see out into the fields itself. Again, there's not a lot of shrubbery or bushes near the river, so if anything came up to the river, it's pretty easily seen. But far out into the plains of Midrule, you can see that there are figures moving out in the fields. This is the reason why a lot of people don't travel around and they stick to large caravans or towns. The fields are covered in all kinds of not pleasant creatures.
What time of day is this?
Your shift ends up taking place over the course of the entire of nighttime. By the time your shift is formally done, day will begin to
I
break.
softly strum my guitar. Happy day thoughts at night, so that I don't get scared by the things that are looking at me right now.
All right, who's after Titus?
I'll go.
In the morning. All right. You guys tag out, and I'll get you to roll a perception check.
Okay, so I go to wake Ash, and I go into the room, and then I tap her with my
stuff?
loot,
Oh, your loot.
and I'm like, your horse took a shit. You gotta clean it up.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, that's fine. Like that's ever bothered me before.
Sticking up the boat. Go do it. I'm
Chum
going to
the
bed.
water.
I'm going now.
It's real big.
God. What is this? Perception?
Yeah.
19
Plus.
Okay.
plus. That's it.
19. It's early morning. Anyone else that's awake is not. There's no need to be really hyperactive about it. But what you do notice is that there is a
As I'm shoveling shit
shoveling,
off the boat.
horse poop.
Yep.
There is a cawing high above you, and when you kind of look up, there seems to have been. You didn't really take notice of it a while back, but there was a bird that was kind of hovering around in the area of Babaribo Village. Didn't think anything of it. There's birds all over the place, but there seems to have been a bird that's been following you since Babaribo Village.
I'm gonna go wake up Stefan. And I'm gonna ask him what he thinks of the bird. Hey Stefan, I'm coming to wake you up. There's
I'm up.
Hi. There's this. I feel like you're one of the only ones in the group that I can talk to, because those two are self-absorbed, and Mikhail just like, he's a strong, silent type. So like, I don't really want to bother him because his shift is next. But there's this bird. And you know I'm good with animals, right? So like,
You love birds.
I love
Fold
birds
my pillow
a
over my
lot,
ear.
but like this one, there's something weird about this one. It's been following us. Like I remember this bird from Barbarito Village.
Do you know it's the same bird?
It's definitely the same bird. What do you think we should do? Should we kill it?
Well, that's not my first
Yeah,
instinct.
I don't like killing birds or
But
fish.
I mean, if you're saying it's the same one, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a spy. Maybe it's.
Do you think it's magic?
This-
Should we try catch it?
It's all kinds of magic. It's all kinds of magic.
Are there any nets on this boat?
Any fishing materials or things like that would have been here, or any that you would have acquired. So on the boat itself, no.
Okay, just the fishing.
What if we used your fishing rod to try and
I
catch the
kick-
bird?
I kick the wood on the side of the boat just enough for it to be audible as my pillow is covering my head. I'm like, people are sleeping!
Okay, Titus, wake up! I shake Titus. I shake Titus' head. Titus, there's this
Have
bird.
this conversation outside. I just had my
Titus,
shift.
I know, but you're trustworthy and wholesome. There's a bird.
Oh my god.
It's been following us.
I'm gonna grab some bread out of my ration and I'm gonna throw it on the deck.
There's this bird that's been following us and it's freaking me out.
Oh my goodness. Okay, what do you want to do about this bird?
I don't know. Do you think there's like a way we could lure it? Do you think it would like fish?
I don't know. It's what time is it?
Oh my god!
Okay,
you just
go back to sleep.
got in here
Go
to
back
make
to
her
sleep.
up.
Go back to sleep.
Go back to sleep. Me and Stefan can
All right,
sleep.
as you guys are debating this in the cabin, Mikhail, you're outside and you're tossing rations out, kind of trying to entice the bird.
Mikhail's awake?
As
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't wake Mikhail up.
you woke himself up,
Okay.
it's early morning.
I'm still sleeping.
But,
yeah, I guess it's
so
morning.
as you're out there and you're kind of tossing bread out, the bird seems enticed. However, as it kind of dips down lower to come close to the food that you're tossing, you hear and the bird is hit with something, and it spirals down, and it makes contact onto the ground just off the edge of the river.
Sound wake me up.
No.
Oh.
Is there any way
You're the only
to tell where that came from?
Roll a perception check.
I would love to. 10.
10. It's enough to see that there's out in the open field. There's a bunch of hills as well. Cresting over the top of a hill, there is just one single, possibly hoglin, riding on top of like a small infant boar, and it just seems to be shooting around. And as it struck the bird and the bird fell, it doesn't even seem to be interested in the fact that it hit the bird. It then goes and runs off into the field itself.
Can I be up now?
Please tell me about the bird.
Can I be up?
Do you want to go?
You guys are all up.
I'm gonna come run
help
out.
the bird?
I run outside to see what to do about the bird.
I'm gonna
Where's
come
the
outside as
bird?
well.
On the shore. It didn't land on the boat.
Are we
What?
talking about bird?
No, it landed on the shore. We're,
What do you
we're
mean?
sailing past it.
What
What's
happened?
the word
It
right
got
now?
hit by something.
I jump off the boat.
I
I jump off the boat.
on?
I jump off the boat and I start swimming to the shore.
All right.
She thought a horse was a
Ashlyn jumps off the
boomerang.
boat,
This makes
guys.
sense.
What?
Ashlyn jumps off the boat.
I'm off the boat.
I hear
Can
a
we stop
splash
the
and it
boat?
wakes me up. I'm like, shut the fuck up out there!
we
Trying to
wonder-
sleep!
Can we stop the boat?
You have no, you don't,
No.
you can't
No.
see. There is an anchor at the front, and it says there is this this
case
rune
of
on it that says
emergency.
"in case of emergencies only."
I'm off the boat. I'm swimming. I'm
And
swimming
now
to the shore.
I've been living at the bow, so this was something I'd be familiar with.
I'm
in my-
swimming.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go hit the in case of
Wait,
emergency.
what are you doing? Why are you putting the anchor down?
I'm swimming.
and the boat comes to a screech.
Dwarf overboard!
I'm swimming to the boat. I'm swimming to the shore off the boat. I jumped off the boat.
Dwarf overboard.
Doesn't a dwarf have really short swimmy arms?
All
No,
right.
I'm not a dwarf.
How would
So-
you swim?
Why do you think I'm a dwarf?
As Mikhail snaps the emergency anchor to stop the boat, and the only one who's aware that he's doing it, I need Stefane, Titus, and no one to please roll athletics checks.
God damn it, I'm just waking up too.
I know, that's why it's funnier.
I'm still swimming.
Sorry, I correction. It would be dexterity checks. Dexterity checks.
15. Where's the dexterity?
Number 2, like the second one
Your
down.
skill.
Oh, 15, 17.
Characters have been 17. All right, no one.
18.
All right, Stefane.
8.
8. Titus, you feel the rocking and you kind of put your arm out against the wall and don't roll out of bed, and it's you take that how you will. No one, the boat suddenly stops. You kind of take your step forward and you ride with it. Stefane, as the boat rocks forward and you watch Ashlyn jump off of the boat and into the river, you go to reach out for her, and as the stopping happens, you are hurled forward and you do a double front flip and flop in the water.
That front flip was awesome.
So I would like to point out that while quick decisions are important in adventure, maybe communication amongst the group is going to be a saving grace. And I direct that to Mikhail and Ashlyn
I screamed, I'm jumping off the boat.
as you jumped off the
and I
boat.
jumped off
And
the
this
boat.
is the result.
And I'm swimming because there's an injured animal.
I'm swimming towards the shore.
I love animals.
What is happening?
I emerge and I see that there's Stefan off splashing around one side and she's swimming. I'm like, the hell is going on here?
I'm swimming to the shore.
This is supposed to be an easy river ride.
I
What?
know, right? What
All right.
happened? This wouldn't have happened
So-
if I was on ship.
Ashlyn, you reach the shore. It's not too far to make that.
Okay,
And
good.
You make
I'm
the shore.
tired.
And there seems to be, if I recall, an eagle. Was it
The Raven.
All right.
raven? There's a raven. That's there,
Mary Raven.
and there is an arrow that has struck through one of its wings. It doesn't seem to be a fatal wound, but it is a little bit more than a grazing wound, and it seems to be trying to walk around. Just the length of the arrow makes it difficult, but doesn't seem to be.
Upset.
It seems upset, but it doesn't seem like its life is not immediately
Oh, good.
at risk.
Oh,
It just doesn't seem like at this current state, if it's left like this, it will never fly again.
Okay.
And walking is a problem unless this arrow is either shortened or removed.
Okay. I'm gonna try and approach the bird and get it to come to me so I can get the arrow out of its wing.
Roll me an animal handling check.
Oh.
Ooh! Wait for this one.
Ash's very own episode.
Oh, this
21.
Is a Ash episode?
21. At first, when you arrive, it's kind of trying to fly, and it's not. Obviously, it's not working. As you get up close, it notices you, and at first, it flaps harder. But after your first attempt of calming it, it kind of sits and waits for you to approach,
Okay.
and it doesn't seem to flutter anymore.
Cool. Hi, little bird. I'm gonna break this arrow and try take it out of your wing, so that you can learn how to fly. So I'm gonna approach it. I'm gonna snap the arrow and I'm gonna slide it out of its wing.
Right, you need to roll a medicine check.
God damn.
Yeah.
Did I recover all my hit points, by the way?
Yeah, you did.
Sweet.
11.
Ranger Ashlyn,
You
medicine woman.
Snap the arrow, We should roll one more.
18.
18.
Yeah.
And you hold it down, and at first
Now I roll high.
it kind of it fights you. Not when you snap the end of it off to kind of have a nice clean pull, but as you begin to pull the shaft of the arrow out of the wing, it kind of tweaks a little bit.
Yeah.
And then after a little bit of some shushing and cawing, it stops, and you are able to fully remove the arrow. And now it's bleeding a bit, but it doesn't seem to run away.
Okay, that's good. Cool. I need someone to help me heal this bird.
I'm coming.
No, don't come. I'll come to you. Can I
At that
swim
point,
with the bird?
Stefane is now coming soaking wet out of the river.
But at that point, I had already taken off my shirt, and my olive skin
Oh my god.
just
It's
like,
glistening in the sun.
it's just glistening in the sun.
Did you oil up before taking your shirt off?
Before you go
I'm
to
yelling from
sleep?
shore.
Yeah. Don't you guys oil up before bed and waking up in the morning?
You look
I
good.
do like-
Even one of the horses shakes its head.
I push Titus into the water.
What?
You get oil on your hands.
You should rub that oil in. It's good. Stefane, look, I found this little bird.
He's dirty.
I don't have anything to directly help with with this situation.
He's hurt. Could you think? Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the bird.
Well, we've got.
I can heal the bird if someone will pick me out of the water, please.
Are you coming? Are you gonna come swim to the shore?
I'm right next to the boat. This jerk pushed me into the water.
Yeah, swim to the shore.
He's waiting for a dolphin
Okay,
to carry
I
him.
just swim to the shore. I thought you were gonna come to me. Wasn't that?
No, I thought I was going to, but his wing's bleeding, and if he goes in the water, the blood will come out.
Okay. In the time we had this conversation, I've already swum over to you.
Okay, good. Okay.
He's like, sir, he's
See,
like,
this-
okay, jeez.
Can you cast a spell? Can you
Yeah.
make him a healed bird?
Yeah. So I put my oily hands together.
Somehow still oily even after swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put
Oil
it
and
together,
pause water.
and I use cure wounds with my D8.
All right, roll a
On the
d8.
burb.
Which one's? It is the D8, right? No.
No,
No,
D6.
no.
it's 6.
What is
One
it?
one up from that.
The diamond.
This one?
Yeah.
The one with 8
It's like
sides.
double diamond, yeah.
Does that help?
Wow.
2.
2. So he puts his hands on the burn. You see the wound kind of beginning to close up. It doesn't close up entirely, but it's what has kind of begun to seal. There's no scarring and things like that. So he's on the mend, but he isn't 100% yet.
Sweet.
I'm hungry.
Do you want me to try again, or?
No, we should head back to the boat.
Okay.
Did he stop bleeding?
Whatever is still left of the wound is kind of cauterized
Okay.
from the
okay.
results.
Yeah,
that,
he
yeah.
stopped
Big blue
bleeding, so we
fish,
can
yeah.
head to the.
Can-
We can,
can
no,
it
I've got the
fly?
big blue fish. You leave my big blue fish alone.
You wouldn't have jumped with
Just
your
let
big
the
blue
bird
fish.
fly.
It's in rations.
Jumped with all of your equipment.
Yeah.
No, you have to cook it
you-
before it's rations.
Yeah, you would have to cut it
Oh
up
yeah.
and
Anyway,
put it-
okay.
I
Well,
want
I'm
to go
gonna.
down
Okay.
to their
Probably get on
to
that.
their rooms while they're on the.
Oh my god, something's happening right now.
Mikhail, no one snuck away to our rooms.
You don't know this.
Yeah,
You don't have a
this.
Hey,
clue.
just watched him.
No, we
No,
didn't.
no.
Nobody saw me do this.
Roll a stealth check, no one.
Yeah, you try stealth.
I'm not
Okay.
encouraging this, but
I'm gonna
at the
put
same time, this is what you gotta do.
10.
10? Fantastic. No one's passing perception. Yeah, no.
Okay,
Oh, wait,
no
hang
one
on a
is.
sec. Who stayed on the boat?
Me.
Mikhail, but
Roll
he
a
just
percep-
finished pushing him off the edge of the
Yeah,
boat.
still.
He's on the boat. Though.
What's your
It's a small
perception
boat.
skill?
My perception skill is +2, so
Okay.
It's small enough that
Then
we're uncomfortable
you-
with two
you
horses.
said you rolled a 10?
Yeah.
Alright. You watch as no one goes into the cabin.
But there's nothing suspicious about it. I just went
No,
back
I'm
down
just
there.
saying. You saw it.
Is his tent roll? Is his bedroll in the cabin, or is he? No, he's sleeping with his horse. Yeah.
We'll let you two deal with that.
Okay,
go back
Team
to the
Short,
boat.
I'm gonna put the bird on my head. So I put the bird on my
Right, you
head.
take the raven.
I kind of put my hair in a bun, and he sits in my bun.
I'm going to watch the shore for
Okay,
hot
one,
limbs.
one situation at a time.
I put the bird in my hair like
yeah.
a bun, so he's got a little nest here, and I'm gonna start doggy paddling to the boat.
As you put it in your hair and it rests, you feel it kind of
Yes, this
Relax
bird
there.
loves me.
and
Okay.
just kind of chills as you swim.
Yeah, this
Uh,
burb is my burb.
And you're
Watching the shore.
Don't
for-
thank the guy that
that
fucking
they don't
healed
get
you.
ambushed
But
by
whatever.
I did. I said thank you.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the bird.
Oh,
Well, Bird's kind of just looking at all. He doesn't even really comprehend what's going on.
For he is a bird.
Mikhail, roll a perception check.
Was that a 6? 8. No, it's a 9. 11.
It doesn't need to have a high roll to kind of tell this, but the way that the lands are kind of shaped, I mentioned that hill earlier. Sometime after, when you glanced over to watch no one go into the cabin, whatever, you look back, and you did see the Hoglin leave. But when you glance back and they're all there gathering their things to head back to the river, the Hoglin is back atop of the hill on its boar. And you watch as it lifts its head up and it does something with a horn and then a very soft...
Oh, God damn it.
And you three, Stefan, Ashlyn, and Titus, hear this as well. And looking back, you see that a couple more Hoglins on boards begin to crest over the hill.
Let's like I've been saying, let's get in that water.
I said I'm gonna doggy paddle back.
I'm swimming back.
Athletics checks from the three of you, please.
I'm pretty athletic.
Can I start looking through the stuff in the room?
Oh, nice.
Okay, I'll do things in a certain order here. Mikhail, you first. What were you
I'm
gonna
going
do?
to tie a 50-foot rope to the rail of the boat and throw it towards them and head to the front to try and unanchor the boat.
Nice. Okay, sweet. So I will do that in order, and then the next thing, just so that I have all the rolls out of the way, and then I can kind of resolve them in order. You're looking through their stuff, no one?
Yeah.
Monster.
I'll see what's going on there.
Okay. I'm gonna get you to roll a quick perception check real quick if you don't mind.
8.
8. Okay. I'll do this in order here. Athletics checks. What were those at?
12.
Nat 20.
Nice.
Nat 20.
Couple of
Seriously?
speedboats
Guys,
out there.
My God. And Mikhail, please roll a strength check.
Just like straight plus the
That's
strength?
plus your
Yeah.
strength.
8.
8. All right. So you throw the rope out relatively no problem, and you kind of begin to pull up the anchor. It's surprisingly heavy, and like, even for you, who doesn't seem to have an issue with a lot of these things, it's maybe there's something magical here, but it's giving you a bit of grief trying to pull that up. Stefan, you're kind of going towards the rope. You see it there, and you kind of start wading through the water. Ashlyn and Tia just they like ran past you, and they grab onto the rope and start pulling themselves forward. And you're trying your best to catch up. You're not far behind them, but they are well ahead of you. And as the drama of the situation is occurring, and you guys are beginning to reach your rope and pull yourselves up, and you're trying to pull that chain up, Mikhail, there's also the silence inside the cabin of no one. Looking through that bag. Yeah, there's all right, there's stuff in there. Look through that bag. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
I don't know. I said I was hungry earlier. Maybe I'll look for some food.
I think the only one who's got a bag there is Titus.
Oh.
Titus, do you have any food in your bag?
I do. I've got 5 days worth of fish.
There's 5 days of fish.
I just want to eat one of those.
Just take your fishing. Yum.
Well, nice.
I'm gonna mark it as 4.
Delicious.
Meanwhile, the rest of you are scrambling to get onto the rope, and Stefan, you finally catch up. You grab the end of the rope, and Ashlyn and Titus have pulled themselves up to the top of the boat, and Stefan is still at the end of the rope, trying to get himself up to the side of the boat. But you are away from the edge of the shore, where the Hoglins have begun to reach, and they're all yelling and screaming, and some of them are beginning to draw arrows. Can I have Ashlyn and Titus roll strength checks for the rope with Stefan, please?
5.
Oh, that was so close. Oh, 15.
15?
It was almost a nat 1. It was like, oh.
So Titus kind of grabs onto the rope closest to where it's actually tied off on.
Those damn oily
It doesn't seem to be
hands.
doing much. Just keeps sliding along the rope. It's like,
This
man,
is
it's
Fire
like
Island
endless
all over
work.
again.
So from Titus's perspective, you're doing a lot of work because every time you pull the rope, more rope is coming
I just look
towards
more
you.
glistening as I do it.
What you haven't noticed is that the reason why that's happening is because you're taking care of the excess slack that Ashlyn's throwing as she's actually lifting the rope with Stefan on it.
Guys, I'm so strong.
I am holding on for dear life.
One more
Oh,
strength
my
check
lord.
from you, Mikhail.
I was going to say, is it a rope or is it a chain?
It's a giant chain.
Okay.
Yeah.
10.
10. A little bit better, and you are able to clear. The anchor does clear the water. It's still, if you were to let go of it, you will stop again, but the boat then begins to pick up its previous momentum and start moving forward. But you're still not entirely out of the water yet, as they were.
I know I'm not.
Yeah, but you're out of the water. You're just still bunk against the
side of
the boat.
What? Like, we're so close here.
I'm trying so hard.
I'm climbing
one of the
too.
hoglins tries to shoot at you. That's not gonna. Yeah. What's your AC? Higher than 6? Perfect.
Yes.
And yeah, so as you're there, kind of bouncing off the side of the boat as it begins to progress forward, you feel yourself kind of leaning backwards as the speed of the boat progresses. A couple of arrows strike the side of the boat.
Like where I just was.
Yeah. So it's like you swing back. Pink. Meanwhile, this entire time, no one.
I came back upstairs.
That's a good fish.
Yeah, I'm full now.
All right, Ashley, pull one more time with your strength check.
Okay. Net 20.
All right, and with that, she reaches down and with one overarching heave, she yanks the rope up. Stefane arcs over top of her head. Humor me, please roll a dexterity check.
And as he does, I whisper, "Strong female character." Swings over my head.
As that happens, the raven's also looking, going.
I love my raven.
22.
22, and with that, like a cartoon character, he stands like a soldier dive, just boom, on his feet in semi-horror as you almost completely arc past the boat and off over the other side.
Do I like smoothly go into like a superhero land?
Do you?
I mean, would you like to land in a superhero land?
I would.
All right. With a 22, I will let you land how you would rather land. And with a nice solid, and you feel there's a reason why no one actually lands in a superhero landing. Your knees are not happy with you.
Stuck the landing, guys.
I high five.
And
Man,
Mikhail,
something smells fishy on the boat here.
Strength check.
one last strength check.
20
Oh,
natural.
Yes.
And he takes the anchor. That last bit, you're like, why is this been giving me grief? You just kind of grab the anchor and chink. As y'all take a deep breath, y'all look at the cabin to where no one is currently standing, finishing off a piece of fish.
Is that my fish?
What's going on up here? This is really loud. I was just waking up. And
Why are you eating my fish, no one?
Do you not still have
you
rations?
don't know that?
I'm the only one that has fish on board, except for that blue fish
For
that
all
hasn't been
you
cooked.
know, this is my fish.
I'm gonna go lay down.
Thank you for listening to this Twisted Gear Studios production in collaboration with MacGuffin Media. Our next episode of Zing Dong will air Friday, March 15th. Tuesday, March 5th is our next episode of Spacers, our Starfinder actual playcast, and Tuesday the 12th is the next episode of The Call, our Call of Cthulhu actual playcast GM'd by Derek Snow. The game system used today was the D&D 5th edition by Wizards of the Coast. Music in this episode was provided by Matthew Chung, composer for Nirvana the web series. Sound effects and ambient tracks licensed through Triune Films, Video Copilot, and Sirenscape. For up-to-date content, please subscribe to the Twisted Gears Studios and MacGuffin Media YouTube channels. All Twisted Gears podcasts are available on YouTube, Google Play, Apple Music, and Spotify. Please like and follow us on Facebook as well as Twitter and Instagram at The Twisted Gear. Your players this evening were Mike Farrow, Tito Gillen, Ashley Lawrenson, Steve Reeve, and Matt Salem. Elizabeth Wells was your audio operator, and I was your host and GM, Zach Barrett. Have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you next time.